Hey coaches, welcome back to Football Talk with Coach Chip. Going to be a short intro here. I'm revisiting the revisit of the jet drill. Haven't been able to make many, if any, videos lately. Extenuating circumstances. And this is good. I've had several coaches email me, contact me, asking about jet drill. You know, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? So I went back and I looked at my the second or third video I did on the jet drill, and I edited it. Some of you longtime viewers will recognize this, but there's a lot of new people. When I did this, we were trying to get 500 subscribers. That was 2 years ago, maybe 3. And then now we're trying to get 3,000 subscribers. So yeah, there's a lot of new subscribers, and they don't always go back and look at some of the old stuff, and that's probably a good thing because the first few that I did were pretty bad, pretty cheesy. But this is how to run the jet sweep and set up the jet drill. It's about 15 minutes of actual teaching, and I took out a bunch of fluff. Okay? All right, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel, and then be sure to share it with all your coaching buddies. Let me shut up so I can start talking. Now, here you see is our jet drill left, and it's set up for a half line. Now, what you got to realize is facing them on the same hash, about 20 yards away, is another group, the right side, working jet drill right. We don't work the back side of it during the drill because all we're doing is kind of man blocking it over there in case the quarterback keeps it and throws the backside slant if they want to chase motion and leave the flat wide open on the backside. And you can go to, I think, episode 2. And we talk about the what you can do off of the jet sweep. But this one will deal primarily with the jet drill. The red things you see right here, those are cones. And I call that the hump. All right, and I tell them when they get the ball, the jetter gets the football right here. When the jetter gets the football, he is going to bubble back to create space between him and the O-line. And for that free 3 technique running through right there. Now you can full reach it and block the B gap, and if he's in the 3, you block him. Now the way we've done it in the past is pull him. And I'll show you that in a moment, pull that guard. He's going to bubble back, get behind the cones, and follow those cones. No matter what, in the beginning of the drill, no matter what you do, you follow those cones. And you see they'll take you all the way to the sideline. And it trains them to run to the jungle, run to the green grass. I can't even remember who I got run to the jungle from. It's not, and I didn't get it from Credence. Run through the jungle means run to the grass. Go where it's green. Okay, and stay outside no matter what. And I tell them, I said, the good Lord comes back while we're doing jet drill, he better find your happy butt running the hump. Okay? All right, now the X, or the wide receiver, is going to run off stalk, the corner. They get great stalk work doing this because you'll have 2 or 3 doing it this way, 2 or 3 down here, the other group doing it the other way. If you flip them, you can have them do it one time, jog down there, and when their turn comes back, and you're just repping it like crazy. We put it in. It's like 10 minutes first few times we do it. Once the kids learn it, we go jet drill. And usually they can see because the cones are set up. I like to do it coming either right at the beginning of our offensive time or right after a break, right after special teams, so I can be setting up the drill. I don't know about y'all, but we don't have all those managers. We've got some managers, but there's been a few years I've been able to have some good managers and teach them how to set up the jet drill because we do it the same every time. All right, the H is always going to stalk number 2, and you count from the sideline. Wide receiver's got number 1. H has got number 2. The running back is going to run. I got him kind of wide here, but really what he wants to do is run through. I can edit that, can't I? Look at me. He wants to run through right here, and if anything is hanging off of his tackle's block, he knocks the crap out of it as he continues on right here at an angle, trying to pick off a linebacker running. right there. All right, now what about, all right, of course, reach number 3. 1, 2, 3. Left tackle's going to reach number 3 right there, and he's going to work to the outside. And I'll tell this kid right here, don't get reached, and make this guy work his butt off. Work his butt off coming out here. And you've heard me say it before. You can't reach anyone that doesn't want to get reached. And I show them all the time. And I say, you can't reach my old butt. Because as soon as I'll get in a 5 technique, and as soon as the ball snapped, I'm hauling butt to the sideline, and they're chasing me. I said, stay with me. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to stop and play football to make a tackle. And that's when you tell the jetter, when that happens, if you get this right here, and he's doing this like that, sooner or later, then he can cut inside that, then get back out there on the hump. Get back out there on his path. Because, and there's going to be teams that are going to do that. And there'll be teams that come out here and do crazy stuff like do this. And there'll be teams that put a guy right here, and they'll bring a guy way up right here trying to come box you. And now, eventually, once you get the drill down pat, you put a boxer out here. The H still going to block like this. And the tailback knows he's going to get the boxer, unless you like doing it with your tailback over here. And you can do that. It just depends. But what we've found is teams will overload us to the field because we're such a, we've been in the past. He'll go get him. You know, and I've had them communicate where the H turn around and say, get him. Or the tailback and say, get him, because he's going to get this guy here. And that's what doing the jet drill does for you. It allows the kids do it so much, they get comfortable with it. And they'll practice that thing so much, and they learn to talk. And, you know, and I empower those kids to talk and give them a sense of ownership over what they do. And so and I tell them all the time, I said, listen here, I don't care as long as you get the thing done. When you talk about it, you know, you got to do it in a hurry because we practice the drill full boat. But we're going to reach, we're going to stalk with number 1, we're going to stalk number 2, we're going to reach number 3. And if they overload you, that's when you make the adjustments. I've actually, if people want to do all that crazy stuff, I'd empty that joker and put the tailback out here too. And let the tailback be. I said, how many of y'all want to put out there? You know, and then sometimes we'll bring the other receiver over here and go over. It looks like some of that Navy stuff they do. Some of y'all probably seen some of the footage on some of the other episodes. We'd have two guys on the line right here, the H and the tailback out here. So we got four guys outside the tackle to the play sides. How many of y'all want to put out there? You say, well, you're going to run out of people pretty soon. Well, I can put the tackle out there too. I can put the right tackle out there. We're just going to put him out. We can keep moving people over. We can get that what they call that stupid formation. That's fine. You know, but sooner or later you're going to weaken yourself in the box. We're going to fake the jet. We're going to run quarterback power. We're going to check out on your butt. All right, back to the drill. All right, now the way I've got it drawn up here, the guard is reaching. We're on full reach on this. Now what you can do, and I've had a lot, and another reason why I'm revisiting it, I don't know if I've answered questions properly or not through email and messages on Twitter and Facebook. You're going to pull that joker right there, and he's working at an angle. In full reach it, it's okay. But what I'm saying is, if that guy's got any agility, he can get out here far enough, because look what the Z is doing. The jetter is running the hump. We're not cutting it up right here. We're not cutting it up right here. You go back, look at episodes 2 and 3, I believe, and look at the jet highlights, and you'll see, or I'll show you where we did it wrong and show you the result. And I'll show you where we did it right, and I'll show you the result of running the hump. They cannot cut up in here because it screws up the blocking. First off, we're not blocking in here. You know, and I tell them, and you can tell them and tell them and tell them, and sure enough, they're going to do it. Let a game or two or a full scrimmage go, and they start getting teed off on by them backers who aren't getting blocked, and we're just trying to get in folks' way as they're coming out of the middle of the formation. They'll figure it out. You know, and just show them film. You know, show them the film that I've uploaded onto YouTube. This is how you do it. You run the hump. Now, there are ways to cut that thing up, and that's in episodes 2 and 3 as well. We block it a little bit different, and it's a pre-designed turn-up for teams that want to run like madmen out here and are committed to stopping the jet. Okay, now the reason I love the jet because it displaces the defense so much, because that's what they have to do to stop it. If you got any speed, A modicum of speed. That's a good word for you right there. That's that Troy State University education coming through. If you got a modicum of speed, you can run jet successfully and get out here and make people, if you don't get but 3, 4, 5 yards when you average on jet, that's because they're committing to stopping it. And that's going to open up your counter. That's going to open up your power. All right, back to the blocking. So he's going to pull right here and work wide, or he's going to full reach. In the drill, we do not block the 3 technique. I'll take like a really athletic, fast, twitchy kind of guy. They got to be the best player. And yet, I tell them, nobody's going to touch you. The snap count is on its first sound. You know the snap count. I don't even watch the football. All I want you to do is when that ball is snapped, I want you to haul butt right here. And you can even haul butt at an angle if you want to. You see. Try to touch the jetter on the hip. Try to touch the jetter on the hip. And if he can touch him, that means our timing's off. Then I got an issue with the quarterback and the jetter. Okay, and that's how we get the timing down. So, well, Coach, where do you snap the football? Can't tell you. It's not that I won't tell you. I can't tell you. Because it varies. It varies on your kid. It varies on your center. It varies on your jetters. And that's why you got that cone here. Because you're standing right about in here watching this thing, or right over here. I like to stand right here and make sure that kid cuts back and gets on the hump. You don't want to run into my 240 pounds. He'll break me in two, but he don't want to run into it. Right in here, I put that cone, maybe about where the guard is or the B gap, and the quarterback can start getting an idea about where he needs to snap it based on the center snap, based on the jetter speed. And I've said this before, you practice a bunch of jetters. I've actually put a substitute quarterback in the game and changed the Z because I knew that sub quarterback had been working with a different group of Zs, and he wasn't good at working with the 1 and 2 Z that were in the rotation, the 1 and 2 jetters, because the speed factor is different. You got a kid that runs a 4.5 and you got a kid that runs a 4.6. So, that makes a little bit of a difference. And the 4.6 kid may even get there quicker because he's going a little bit faster. Center, I just tell him, you block a gap defender. You block a gap defender. Now, if you're doing full stretch, full reach, let him reach the play side A. Now, the reason I tell him block a gap defender is that way if they vacate out here and leave the slant open from the backside, quarterback will pull and throw slant, and we don't want anybody getting in a quarterback's face and hitting the quarterback, so we're going to block anything here back, just man block it. Okay, just tell them to block the man on your head. And tell the tackle, the guard, and the center. And then the other two that matter, look, the blocks that matter, guys, are right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And those guys getting those linebackers, that's kind of hinky whether it matters or not. It just depends on how good their linebackers are and how good your jetter is. And if they just get out there and get in the way and make these guys not be able to run a straight line, make them run around people. Just make them make a move. And I tell them, don't worry about them dancing. Don't worry about them dancing. Dancers aren't tacklers. If dancers could tackle, then the solid gold dancers would have been in the NFL. They're not. So make them, if you just get out here and get in the way, it's kind of like a screen. And we don't read the jet. So we don't read it. I told him I want him going anywhere from 3/4 to 90%. 80, 85, 90%, I want you hauling butt. And you can watch some of the video. That quarterback barely getting it in there. Also, we tell the quarterback he's responsible for the handoff in the sense that he's the one that's got to check and make sure it got made. Because if he pulls it to throw the backside, and that's a pre-snap. So I thought you didn't read it. He decides if this guy over here bumps down or bumps in and leaves a void, we got an automatic slant back here. An automatic slant. And he'll pull it and throw it, and it's already predetermined. We don't want the jetter looking back over his shoulder to see what's going on. And so we tell the jetter, you're gone. Whether you get the ball or not, you're on the hump and you're off to the races. That's what we tell the jetter. All right, let's look at jet drill right. It's the same thing, and you're doing them in tandem. They're facing each other. And the coaches can stand in the middle. Coach up, the wide receiver coach can stand in the middle because he's got a kid behind him doing it. He's got a kid in front of him doing it, and he's just looking back and forth. The running back coach right in here, coaching both running backs. Whoever's got the H's, the lineman can stand right here. And I moved all over, especially once we got all this down pat. I used to stand right here at the beginning. Come up the field. If you have any questions, remember you can hit me up at seagle.chip. That's SEAGLE. Seagle.chip. SEAGLE, like S-Eagle, at gmail.com. Seagle.chip@gmail.com. All right, coaches, that's it for the revisit of the Redux. I don't know what you'd call that. You got any questions, be sure to contact me at seagle.chip@gmail.com. I'm Coach Chip on Twitter/X. Be sure to like and subscribe to the video and then share it with all your buddies. Thanks again. Until next time, y'all be elite.